I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money.
A night stream, right? And I said, as people watch the gameplay, if then they would come to me, let's say the next day or two, and they were like, hey, Phil, we really liked you playing Deadlock. We want you to play more. Sorry we couldn't be there for the stream, but hey, here's support for the game. But like you just did, you did $10 super chat, right? That if people did that, and basically I was like, oh, there's like a bunch of people who want it, then I would have said, okay, let's play it again. You're literally the only person who's done so, and it's 2 days later. Actually, it's 3 days later. So it took 3 days for one person to actually come by and say, hey, I liked Deadlock. Here's a contribution for it. So sadly, I don't think I have that audience anymore. I think at one point I did, but my audience now is more of a chill vibe audience. They want to relax with me while I play a game and we interact and we talk a lot. They don't really care about the high multiplayer stuff. Only like the tried and true games like Street Fighter or Call of Duty will ever really do numbers for me in that regard again, I think. Like, I think people are like getting used to me being a more chill guy. And because of that, they want to have indie games. They want to have chill experiences, right? Interactive experiences. And I can't do that when I'm playing a game where I have to focus on it the entire time. And I'm learning it from the ground up. And it takes a lot of investment of effort. And so, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just the impression I'm getting these days is things have changed. And that's fine. I just have to adapt to that. And I have to accept that. Rather than keep my head against the wall. You know what I mean? Like, I just tried it with Call of Duty. That didn't work. Now I tried it with Deadlock. That didn't work. So there's a pattern for me. Aaron just did a $10 super chat and asked the following question. Why are the trolls against you getting paid? Who wants to work for free? Well, here's the thing, Aaron. There's an answer that applies to why people started trolling me on the internet. And there's the answer that applies to today. The answer about, yes, someone just died. This is funeral home music. This is actually considered the organ low hymn music. I have horror themed music today. There's a dark playlist for my music here from Roland's Bridgecast music library. And this is the dark playlist. I've never used it before, but I wanted to use it today because of zombies and stuff. So now we're hearing like funeral home organ music and all kinds of crazy stuff. Okay, so to answer Aaron's question, the original reason that I got Detractors was because I was an asshole. 100%. I was someone who thought his shit didn't stink, his content was better than everyone else's, that I didn't need to listen to feedback ever, that all I needed to do was keep doing what I was doing and I should be successful forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I did was kind of like offensive. If someone tried to criticize me, I'd get pissed. This is how you don't play. Instead of laughing at it, I got pissed. That's on me. 100%. That's on me. Okay? But over time, things changed. I became a different kind of person, a different kind of creator, a different kind of streamer. You know, I made decisions that 100% backed the things that I said about content creation that I felt. You shouldn't be toxic. You shouldn't be offensive. You shouldn't be making yourself a clown. You shouldn't have to make others clowns. That you should just try to do something that's positive for the earth. Like my firm belief is one day I'm going to be done with content creation and I'll be able to leave behind a body of work that's eternal. Meaning you can watch a playthrough that I did 10 years ago, yesterday, and it's still good no matter what. You can still watch it and enjoy it. It doesn't hurt anyone. It didn't bring anyone down. I didn't make my living based on crunching others under my boots, but instead just having fun with an audience. You see? Like, that's what I stand for today. So if you compare the Phil of today to the Phil of 10, 15 years ago, there's a big difference in philosophy and content. I'll agree that the content that I was making, we have a shambling zombie, our first sub of the week from Lance Catamaran. So yes, I changed the sub notifications as well, as you can see. Thank you, Lance Catamaran, for the shambling zombie, sending it my way. Okay, so I basically feel like back in the day, my detractors were critics. And what they would do is look at my content and say, Phil can improve by doing this better. Phil can improve by changing his attitude here. Phil could be a better person here. He could be more grateful here. He could stop swearing at the games and saying racial comments and sexual comments here. And he could do this better. And I, over time, listened to all of that. And I changed myself for the better. If you look at me today, I'm so polarizingly different than how I used to be. Okay? Today, the reason that people have issue with me is because they want to make money or because they're jealous. Those are the two reasons. Either they want to make money by still saying I'm the worst person ever because they can monetize that and there is a hate-based cult on the internet used to hearing it, or they're just jealous of my success and they don't want to believe that someone can just be here and be themselves and actually make content and, oh no, because that goes against what we believe. We believe that you have to be toxic and drama-filled and negative, and we don't want to believe that someone nice and positive like Phil could make content and be successful. So they don't want me to make money. They want me to fail because they feel like that's some kind of a win for them because they're jealous of my success. It's that simple. And it's not everyone. Like I said, there's a distinct group of people that want to see me fail so they can make content on it and make money. I don't really believe at all whatsoever that there is a single person who watches me and actually thinks that Phil is someone who needs to improve his content and here's constructive criticism how. I don't believe that anymore because it used to be, and I changed for the better, and it's never good enough. No matter what I do to change, what I do to improve, they move the goalpost again because they can't have a narrative that says Phil isn't bad anymore. Their narrative is Phil is bad, so they have something to talk about, a group of hate watchers to be socially active with on the internet, and that they can make money on. There you go. Oh, let's see here. We've got, okay. I got confused there. I did the wrong thing. There was the first sub of the week is from Lance Catamaran. Thank you, Lance. Thank you for that. So yes, all subs on Kick also have the new animations. We no longer have the Valentine's or football animations. They have all been removed. I think that's going to be something nice and fresh for the streams. Aaron did another $5 super chat. He says, so they're against you growing as a person. How do you learn if you don't make mistakes? No, that they don't want anything positive out of me whatsoever. Seriously. If anything positive ever comes out of my content, they ignore it. They only focus on the negative because that is what's monetizable. On YouTube, people care more about the story of the guy who fell from grace rather than the person who came from nowhere and became successful. That's how YouTube works. People want drama, toxicity, negativity. They want you feel better about yourself when you hear that someone else failed because it makes you think, oh, well, I didn't fail, so I'm good. Now, you may be a nobody who never was, but at least you didn't fall from grace, right? So it makes you get a little bit of boost about yourself. You feel, oh, that person failed. I feel good. Those are the stories people like on YouTube. Those are the stories that get the big views. When I make a negative video about a game, it makes way more views and money than a video that's positive. If I make a video that says this is the worst game I've ever played, it'll get tons of views. If I make a game that says it's the best game I've ever played, it won't get views. That's just how YouTube is. So ignore any positivity whatsoever. Never give credit where credit is due, right? I couldn't tell you how many times in the last 5 years that meme that says the worst person you know made a good point. You know that meme? And even the face, remember the face of the guy that they use for it? Literally 10 times a year, I see that about me on social media. I see that about me in comments on videos. I see that about me everywhere. It's like, wait a minute. At one point, it's not the worst guy you made a good point. How could I be the worst guy you know if I'm constantly making good points? Then I'm not the worst guy anymore. It's the guy who doesn't make good points and does bad things that's the worst guy. But it's the meme that I'm the worst guy. So to them, any positivity cannot, it's got to be the rare, that never happens for Phil. Rare Phil W. No, it's not rare anymore. Phil's always getting W's. It's just that people don't want to acknowledge the W's anymore because they want to say, well, Phil sucks. Let's make bad content about him and make money on it. And they can't do that if I'm actually not a bad person. You see? Okay. I hope that makes sense, Aaron. It's only the best way I can describe it. Like, I'm someone who I acknowledge I was bad back in the day. I was so big-headed. I thought my shit didn't stink. I thought my content was the best. I didn't want to listen to criticism. I didn't want to listen to suggestions for improvement. I was mad at anyone who made fun of me. I was a dick. I was a conceited dick. That's the best way to describe the old Phil. I have done as much as I humanly possibly can to change from that person into someone who has learned, who is self-aware, who wants to make better content, who wants to be better, and I am successful doing it that way. But the internet doesn't want to acknowledge it. The facts are here. Like, literally on this stream, I haven't said a word about, hey, send me contributions, and look how much I've already made. I didn't even do anything. All I did was talk with you guys during a podcast. You can't deny that I'm successful. But the internet doesn't want to admit that, because that means that their narrative's broken, right? Oh, Phil's not a bad person. He makes good content, and people support it. No, that doesn't happen. Phil's a broke, and he's a beggar, and he's this, and he's that. That's all not true. But that's the narrative they have to push. Okay. I believe it is time to end the show, my friend. So this was a good show. We didn't talk about Phil Spencer.